Hello, hello. So I'm going to break down for you the DM that my client just sent that got her 50 inbound leads from a following of about only 1,200 people on LinkedIn. And she basically never posts or engages with anyone. So this is something that you can do too. But disclaimer, before we send out this message, we nail down her unique and compelling sales messaging. So that's the main reason why most people fail when they do cold DM or email campaigns is that they don't have a unique or compelling message or a unique offer. So it just sounds like everybody else when they send out the messages, and it doesn't work. But when you get that stuff down first, we dug into the target market and we figured out what the top of mind problems are, and we fleshed out the benefits, and we put it all into this message so that it actually is something that the receiver wanted to receive and it was relevant to them. So that's how we did that. And we automated this whole thing. We just took the message. We used an app called Lemlist, which I'll show you guys how to use Lemlist or how we used it in a future video, but we just loaded in there, sent the automated campaign to this list of about 1,200 people over the course of a couple weeks. And yeah, she got all these leads, and we're booking all of these calls. And they have a high ticket offer. They charge upwards of $20K with one of their clients. So we're sending this out to executives, to corporates, to massive companies, and it's working. So that's what I'm going to show to you. Just keep in mind that, there's this, 3% of audiences are ready to buy. So imagine being able to do a campaign like this every 3 months to your audience with a new offer and being able to convert 3% of that audience without needing to do much work except on the front end, right? Unique, compelling sales messaging, totally key, totally marketing, totally let's go on this message. Okay, so let's break it down here. So take a note here. There's no rule on should it be a long message? Should it be a short message? Should you say like this? Should you say it like that? They both work. It depends on the context. It depends on the type of campaign that you're doing. I'll go into future videos about different DM styles that I'll show you guys how to do, and the context behind them. Even the context behind this campaign is a whole thing I'll get into. But for the purposes, just know that it's just that because this is long, it's awesome. It's because it's targeted, because all the right information is in this message, targeted to the target market, stuff that they want to hear. And by having this length, we're able to put in all the different psychological buying triggers that are necessary to get someone to be like, wow, this is for me. That sounds real good. I'm going to reach out. Let's go into this. Okay. First here, addressing top of mind problems. No, here. Hey, first name, not sure if you realize how much untapped potential you have in your retirement age employees. So another reason why I'm sharing this message is because their market is pretty niche. My clients here are helping organizations that have large retirement age workforces to help them plan out their retirements better, more holistic, healthy way. So based on the kind of organization you're in, I think you have a massive opportunity to turn them into your biggest assets in your final years. So look at this. Okay, untapped potential, retirement age employees, massive opportunity, turn them into your biggest assets in their final years. Benefits. It's like, people are thinking, what am I supposed to do with all my retirement age employees? They're having all of these problems. We came up with this message of turning them into your biggest assets in their final years. Solves all the problems. Instead of them being a burden, now they're their biggest asset. How do I do that? That's the hook. And I put a note here. No polite intros, no beating around the bush. We get straight to the point, like someone you already knew you would. So we don't want the whole salutations. Hey, first name, comma, go to the next line. It's like that's what everyone sends. It's too formal. If you were just sending a message to someone, you'd be like, you just get straight into it, like you were already their friend. That's the mentality. We go into this like we're already connected, like we're already friends, because we are. They're your first connections in this case. Okay. Personal value prop. The value prop should be present right away, which is this massive opportunity. Turn them into their biggest assets in your final years. Hook them right away with the value proposition, what they're going to get, why they should be paying attention. So rather than your close to retirement workers lingering too long, not transferring their experience to the next generation, and in general not being as productive, imagine if they instead were mentors to their younger peers, were completely transparent with you about when and how they want to retire, and gave 100% effort in their work up until their final days with you, and even being willing to send you referrals, consult with you part-time after they leave, and be some of your biggest cheerleaders. So here we're addressing the top of mind problems that they are experiencing right now. We're relating to their reality. This is what they're thinking. Okay, I've got these employees linger too long. We have this knowledge transfer gap where the older employees aren't transferring it to the younger generation that's coming in to replace them. So we lose all of that wisdom, and people, they're just not as productive because maybe, I don't know, maybe they're not excited about retiring. They want to hold their paycheck. They want to protect their jobs. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about digging into your target market and understanding what they are, painting their reality. We got to know these things. That's why this message works so well. Okay, figure out what those things are, relate to them right off the bat. And then we go into the benefit stack. Again, messaging. Look at this. Completely transparent about when and how they want to retire. If they did that for you, gave 100% effort in their work, consult with you part-time after they leave, be your biggest cheerleaders. Like, this is just all this amazing benefit. Imagine if they were doing that instead. Just like I'm telling to you, imagine if you could run a campaign where every quarter you could convert 3% of your audience to sales. Imagine if that were possible. It's possible. Okay, so with that all being said, here's why I'm reaching out. My co-founder, Nan, and I are offering 5 spots into our Future in 4 Steps Masterclass, where we'll give you a blueprint for what you need to give your retirement age employees so that they become your biggest assets in their final years. We'll show you what you're doing wrong that may be causing the above mentioned problems and what you should be doing right too. So there's supposed to be more here. This must be an older version of the message, I guess. But what we're saying here is we're being really clear on exactly what we're offering. Hey, we've got this thing. It's called a Future in 4 Steps Masterclass. We're going to give you a blueprint for what you need to give your employees so that they become that value prop we just talked about. We'll show you what you're doing wrong and what you should be doing right. That's basically it. But we're being super clear on what we're reaching out about and what I'm offering you. Now here we go into a mini case study and a result. Like, just great to pepper this in, to have them be like, oh, this other companies like me have had success with this, or this is what success could look like. You want to be visual, paint that picture for them. What does success look like when I join this workshop? What am I going to get? Sure, this sounds great, but what's something concrete? That's what we explained here. Just for context, after we worked with one client to implement our plan, our post survey showed that 60% of retirement age employees said they'd be willing to work part-time for their company after they retired. So this is a big deal for a lot of companies because this shows that they like their company enough that even after retirement, they were willing to want to come back and work part-time as a consultant. They're willing to still consult that company, which shows that they had a lot of happiness while in the organization, and that they weren't going to lose any of that knowledge transfer. They were still going to be able to stick around to help out that next generation if needed. So that says a lot. Now we have some urgency. We're only going to have these 5 spots open until date. So urgency, scarcity, 5 spots. Okay, pretty standard. Because really, you don't want to have more than 5 organizations on a workshop like this. You want to have it intimate. And these are high ticket offers, people charging a lot of money. You want to be able to be custom. You want to answer questions. So this is a real scarcity. Does this sound interesting to you? If yes, can I put a 5-minute read document here in the chat that explains more? Worst case scenario is you lose 5 minutes reading it. Best case, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. So in this case, we created a sales document that talks about this offer, this Future in 4 Steps Masterclass. So the alternative is, if you don't have a sales document, you would just say, if yes, are you open to doing a quick 15-minute chat so I can explain more? Okay, a couple options. If you have the document, you'll get more yeses, and potentially you'll get more yeses, but it doesn't necessarily mean you'll get more yeses, but then the people that get on the calls they've already seen the document, so they're like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Now, if you have the call, you'll get more people, you'll book more calls, but those people will be less likely to buy because they don't exactly know what they're getting into. So there's just a trade-off there. I like creating the document because then the people that get on the call with me, I know that they're serious. They know what the offer is. They know the price. So it's just a matter of maybe tying up some loose ends with questions. That's it. So yes, that is it. That's the message. And, like I said, something like this, you can send to your audience of first degree connections if you want help creating a message like this, or more importantly, nailing down these benefits and, problems of your target market, creating unique and compelling sales messaging that you can apply to this and that you want to be able to apply to your content, your website, everything. This was super successful, and I hope you got a lot out of seeing this message. But at the very least, realize that when you have strong messaging, you can do stuff like this without needing to spend hours and hours engaging and creating content, even though all those things are very supplementary. But, having your sales messaging goes a long way. You can do everything starts there. Okay, so that's it. If you want any help with sales, send me a DM. Tell me you saw this post and we can